Hi guys, and welcome back to Hummingbird Acres. I am Deanne, and if you are new here, we are building a brand new house on our homestead here in Virginia. And it has been a while since I have taken you guys on a tour, and I wish I could say more has been done since our last tour, but not as much as I would like, which I guess is kind of probably standard. But I'm going to give you guys a tour of what is done and kind of talk to you about what the next steps are that I know of. Here is the house as you are walking or driving down the driveway. I do have the floor plan of this house listed on our website. I will leave that below for you if you want to see. Yesterday we did get our front door. I believe we got the windows last week, but the doors aren't put in. It is a full porch. They originally dug the footers back when they poured the foundation, which was back in April. And then they didn't pour the footers because they were too close to the foundation. And then now it has been determined that where they dug them is not in the correct spot. So they all have to be redug and done again because they were not done correctly. And I do still have one more door out here. This is the basement door. I'll show you that when we go in. You can see from out here that the electrical has been done. I can say that that is the one trade so far that I have not had any complaints about. Everybody else seemed to have a problem. So we walk in, and this is our living space. So we are thinking a sectional sofa will go here. And then here in the corner will be our wood-burning stove. And you can see that that's the stovepipe. That's where it's marked for the stovepipe. So our wood-burning stove will go that way. This is our kitchen. I'll do that area in a minute. And then across from the sectional, this will be where the TV goes. So that's going to go there. And then you will be able to look down off the balcony into the living room. And then we have our kitchen. So it's kitchen and dining together. So we'll start with the kitchen. There'll be a double oven here. And then a refrigerator. And then under the window will be our sink. Sorry, I have a cast iron double basin, double drain board sink that is going to go there. And then underneath that will be the dishwasher on one side. And then we're going to do a trash compactor on the other side because we do have to take our own trash. So I'd really like to cut down on how much we're taking. And then on this wall will be our range hood and our cooktop. We're going to do a propane cooktop here. And in the middle, if I can back up, I had to pick locations for our pendant lights up here. So I measured out an island. So our island will be that brown paper there. And we are going to do the island ourselves. We're not going to have them do it for us. Before we move on to another room of the tour, I want to dwell a little bit longer in this kitchen and tell you guys that there was a lot of thought that went into this kitchen. We didn't go for just a cookie cutter kitchen. We really took the time to think about what are the things that you need in a homestead kitchen? What are the things that you always use? And we made sure that we included them in this kitchen. If you guys want a list of my must-haves for a homestead kitchen, check out the link below. I will send you a complete list of all of the things that we think are must-haves for a homestead kitchen, including what our must-haves are for a pantry so that you always have a stockpile of food. And on this side, I did also have to pick out location for my chandelier. So I had another brown paper here, but that one got destroyed for the table. And the original placement of that chandelier light, it did get moved because we wanted to make sure that we had enough walk around space to get around the table. This wall here, they are going to take part of it out. If you can see from this angle, they have padded this wall out on this side, probably a little over 2 inches. And by doing that, my grandmother's hutch, which this wall was specifically designed for, that hutch will no longer fit here with that bump out. So, and they bumped it out on this wall, they bumped it this entire door, and they bumped it all the way to that. So all of that has to come out, and they are going to bump it into the powder bathroom. So this powder bathroom is huge. So you're really not going to notice it taking up more room in this space. And I don't know if they've realized it or not, but by doing that, they're most likely going to have to move the plumbing for the sink and most likely the light. But I'm going to try and let them figure that out. So this is the powder bathroom. And then on this side is our pantry. And they're just going to put double doors on this. And we will put shelves in it at a later date. And then I did make sure to add a light in here. It was originally supposed to be one light, but because that is a double joist right there, they could not put just one. So we got 2. So this place is going to be lit up like a Christmas tree, but that is okay. This room back here is our mud room. We do think that this door will be our main entrance into the house so that all of the mud and the yuck are dropped in here. The benches we have in the camper right now that we sit on for dinner, we're going to put those in here. They are IKEA benches. I'll link them below for you. So we're going to do those benches with cubbies for the kids. And then above it, we will do some other storage. And then I have some hooks that I got for this area. And then coming this way, we will do a stackable washer and dryer here. And then we're going to do a utility sink in here. So really looking forward to having a designated space for everyone to drop all of their stuff. Walking back through the living room, past the front door. So on the other side of the front door is the master bedroom. So let's see here. And this, the electrical in here is done. I would have to say the electrical in the entire house is done. There's just a few things that they did not do that we were asked. So the main one being there was supposed to be a switch in here to control that outlet, and that is not in here. So they have to come back and fix that. But this is the master bedroom. So a decent sized master. And then we have the master bathroom in here. And this will be a vanity with the mirror from our house, from our farmhouse in Maryland. So that is the mirror that's going to hang above this sink. I'm super excited for that. And then on this side is the toilet. And we are not sure why they did not center this. So that is going to get redone. It just looks funny. And then we walk this way and we have our, the shower is here. And then you also have our walk-in closet is here as well. And then going back out. I will take you guys upstairs. I have to say, I have gotten better at walking on these stairs. They did put a safety railing up for that. So at the top of the stairs, you can look down into the family room. Coop does not like the stairs, so he doesn't come up, so he's gonna bark. But you walk up to the stairs, you take a left, and this is our flex space. We're going to use this as a playroom, an office, and a no Coopers allowed space. And then eventually I'm going to put a Murphy bed in here for guests. Something we talked to the builders about yesterday is this space right here. And it is considered attic space, so we have to have access to it. So we're gonna put a hobbit door right here, put some flooring down there, and this is where I am planning on storing all of the Christmas decorations. So looking forward to that. And then if I walk this way, this will be the kids' room. And they have decided that they want to share a room to start with. We know it probably will not be like that forever, but they share a room right now. So we're going to see how sharing a room in here goes. So I have my dad's bunk beds from when he was a kid. So there's 4 beds. And we're going to do 2 stacked here, 2 stacked here. There'll still be room for a nightstand on both ends. And then there is a tall men's dresser with this. So that can go right here. There's the long women's dresser here with that nice big mirror above it. And then we will put the other tall men's dresser in the closet. And then we'll have also probably shelving in here, maybe a closet bar or clothes bar for extra clothes. But this closet is huge and it has a nice window of the backyard. So looking forward to that. And then if we walk this way, we are now into the bathroom. So we have a linen closet on our left. The shower will go here. Toilet. And then this will be a double vanity, double sink up here. Yes, the sinks are going to be really close together, but we wanted 2 sinks so that everybody can brush their teeth more than one person at a time. And then I need a mirror for this area here. So this vanity is 56 inches and I need a mirror for here. So if you guys have seen a mirror that you think would fit there, leave me a comment below because I am on a search for a mirror. The other thing we're going to add in here is we need another outlet right about here. So hopefully the electricians can come back this week and get that added. And then I am walking into the other upstairs bedroom, which is a decent size, just like the first one. And all of the electric is done in here. This is plywood for the attic so that they can do their insulation. And then closet, and there are 2 lights in this closet and the switchboard is right inside the door. We have had the windows open. Oh my. We have had the windows open for a while and the breeze that blows through this house is crazy. I just noticed something. This window has a bar in it. None of the other windows have that bar. So that is wrong. Again, guys, I am not going to lie to you. I am so tired of finding these guys' mistakes and having them fix it. This is just crazy. They installed the wrong door in the wrong place yesterday, and now this. And then wait until we get to the basement and I show you that window. All right, so I am back on the main floor. I'm going to take you guys into the basement. So you walk down the basement stairs. We're going to go to the right. And this is our utility, but it is also going to be our food storage. So we're thinking probably we might do refrigerators on this wall. We're going to try and do our cans, like start our canned goods on this wall, and then we'll have some shelving units in the middle for some of our other canned goods. They are supposed to remove this and then we'll have that space for storage as well. So if we go back over here, when this downstairs is finished, this will be a living space. This will be a living room. And then over here will be a kitchen. And I am thinking, originally was thinking a kitchen very much like the one upstairs, but I've kind of since changed that and have also come up with the idea of doing just like a wall. So you can do a refrigerator, you can do your sink, and you can do your stove all here. And then you can have an island in the middle here for all of your work area. So very kind of like a galley kitchen, but it will kind of be just a one-sided galley. It's another option for this space. The reason why we cannot have it exactly like upstairs is because of this window. Back in April, when they poured the basement foundation, I asked them to remove this window, and there was a huge miscommunication, and they would not allow me to remove it unless I paid an extra $1,800 to have it removed. And then now that it's done, you can see that they had ordered, or they framed this window the complete wrong size for this space. So now I have a huge gap right here. They have a solution for it. They're gonna come in and do blocking and then re-put the window back in. But I'm not gonna lie, this window was a breaking point for me. And I was not a very nice person when it came to seeing this. You can also see here that the windowsill is not flat. So that was also framed and poured wrong. So that's a huge problem for me. They did all the doors upstairs, but this one was not done. I cannot blame the guy for that. He installed all the doors upstairs by himself, including the big double door. So I couldn't expect him to carry that door all the way down here to install it himself. So we still don't have that door. This is the plumbing for the downstairs basement bathroom. So toilet, shower, and sink. And then we have this window here, which seems to be installed correctly. And then you can see where they have started some of the plumbing in some places. And then you can also see where they have ripped out plumbing. And we're not sure why or what this stuff is. Some of the things that I am waiting for them to do, this spanse right here, I think is over 16 inches. And you can see up there where they had blocking, but there's nothing there to support that. And that, it's just a safety thing for me. So I have asked for that. This is a load-bearing wall that has no blocking in it all the way down, which it's probably not required, but for peace of mind, please put blocking in a load-bearing wall. So we have asked for that. And then they did do the pipe over here that I had asked for. Something I want to point out in the basement is that we are getting 400 amp service. So we are super excited about that. Here is the back of the house. So you can see where I do have a deck, but all of these footers, again, were dug when they did the foundation. They were never poured. They got filled in because we got so much rain this spring. So now I just have a deck that's kind of floating. When we were inside, I forgot to show you guys, we do have a hole in the roof that they say they're going to fix. It's because the plywood, they used a bad piece of plywood that had a chip out of it. So it has a hole. Yeah. And then you can look out here. This is our backyard. We have done a lot of discussing with them, and we've had a lot of problems with them on the grading for this. I don't know what they were thinking, but some of the things that I had asked for did not get done. Some of the things I want, they tell me I cannot have because the water won't drain. correctly. So this backyard is definitely going to be a work in progress. You can also see that it is the clay. So getting anything to grow out here is probably going to take us a while for that. Another big point of contention I had with them is this massive brush pile that is sitting right there. They had originally pushed it all the way to the back far corner of the property and blocked our trail. So we could not go back there, we could not ride back there, and I couldn't burn it to get rid of it. So that was a huge problem we had with them. And he moved it up here, but at the rate we're going now, I'm not going to be able to burn it until next year. So it's going to sit there. Our septic system is all up in this area here. There was a lot of leftover soil, and he decided to push it down the kids' trail to the creek and put it in a pile, which was, again, another huge problem that they had to come out and fix. It's not completely fixed, but it's better than it was. And let's look. Yep, look at that window. I'm so frustrated, guys. But we have seen some progress, and I do communicate with them just about on a daily basis. Today was the first day, probably in about a week or probably 10 days, that there wasn't anyone out here. And I do believe people came out this morning, but they didn't stay. So, yeah, we are getting there. Hopefully I'll have some more answers and some dates for you here soon. Thank you guys for coming with me on our tour of our farmhouse on our new homestead. Well, kind of new homestead. We've been here over a year now. On our homestead here in Virginia. Make sure you hit subscribe to get notifications on our build videos and all the things that we're going to do.